Welcome to the No Psych, No Excuses podcast, where we have real, raw, authentic conversation. Here's your host, Kijuan Amey. Welcome back. We are back here on the No Psych, No Excuses podcast, where we do real, raw, authentic conversation, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all already know, because y'all have been here for a couple of episodes now. So y'all ain't new to this. Y'all true to this, right? Because y'all my real followers, and I appreciate every bit of the listenership and the love and support you guys are showing me thus far. So today's topic, hear me clearly, we gonna get real. We gonna get a little raw up in here, and it's gonna be authentic. You hear how I had to say that, authentic. Okay, I'm from the north right now. So hear me clearly, man. When it comes to the power of the pause, because that's really what we're about to get into, y'all. The power of the pause. Pause. It's something serious. Now, I want to start by saying, is your conversation, bringing peace or chaos? And then I also want to say, because the words we use can either build up an empire or it can burn the bridge. Now, it's up to you because these are your words coming out of your mouth. Remember that now. We're not talking about what somebody else told you to say. You're not reading from a teleprompter. No. We're talking about you and your conversations. Okay? So, what are your words doing? And I hope they're doing that latter part of the bringing peace to your conversation. That's what I'm hoping it's doing, not chaos. That's not what we want. Now, let's get into it, guys. So, with the power of the pause, because I love this topic right now because I literally just had to do this, literally, okay, and it was to someone that I truly, love, I respect, and I just have so much. I get leadership from him, but at the same sense, I'm like, with the way you keep, lashing back at me, that right there doesn't make me want to follow you. Just think about that. The way somebody's reaction or their words come out can make you stop wanting to follow them. Can make you stop wanting to be like, you're a great leader. Now, if you're talking to me like that. Now, I almost felt like either one or two things. My contribution to the conversation was not appreciated, or two, you view me as a child, an adolescent, a young man. These are terms that really, I tell you, sometimes they're used out of context. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I ain't no child. That's the first thing. Now, I might be somebody's child, but I'm not a child. Because if something happens, they're gonna try me as an adult. And y'all know what I'm getting at. So when I think of these types of things, and yes, the age gap between me and this gentleman is rather great. It's about 40 years, 41 years or so. So that gives you just a little bit of context. So that's why I say, maybe they view me as a child, an adolescent, because it's a huge age gap. You know what I'm saying? That could be a grandparent to me. And so when I think about these things and how the conversation unraveled and my response, can I just back up and say that all I was doing was asking and posing a thought? That was it. I was posing a thought, and it backfired to where someone is now yelling at me. Yes, you heard me correctly, yelling at me. Hold on, player. Let me look up to the sky, take a deep breath, and I'm just going to stop talking. It completely shut me down. These are the burned bridges we talk about. That's what I'm mentioning here. That burned bridge. It burned the bridge to the conversation. I don't want to talk anymore. But when you do that, and somebody actually has a legitimate thought or opinion here, you're not hindering them, you're hindering yourself. And whatever else could have came out of it. Because now they don't want to tell you any more about that situation, and they won't want to offer up future opinions and future thoughts that could benefit. Just think about that. From one conversation, you could lose $1 million. And that's just how the power of the pause. Just think about that for a second. The power of just simply, or if you're not into the breathing, just a simple 3 count, maybe even 5 for some who need the extra time, can simply change the shift. And those who think taking that pause that, oh, it could be a weakness. It could be seen as, oh, I'm not strong enough to. We're not here for the battle. We're here for a conversation. So that's what that power is about. All right, guys, that's the first segment. We're going to leave it there because I just want to throw something at you in regards to my faith, my beliefs, and some who also share it. We're talking about faith it till you make it. And one of the big things that I want to bring up is a Bible verse, Proverbs 18:21. And now I know some of y'all already know where I'm going with this. The power of life and death are in the tongue. It's truly in the tongue. So when we're already talking about this pause, that I already brought up, that's helpful. When you pause, you could be pausing from saying something that can truly be detrimental to either your conversation or somebody else's life. Because again, the power of life and death are in the tongue. Okay? That's what I gotta get y'all to understand this. Because a lot of y'all just go out here lashing out like it's okay. Even if you're doing it over social media, that's still you doing that, right? I'm just letting y'all know it's not just because you're talking to someone. You doing it not on video, just finger typing. You're typing. You're the keyboard soldiers out here. Okay, we need y'all to get off that social media with all the crazy nonsense y'all put out here. Anyway, I mean, y'all don't understand how many people I done unfollowed because of it. Because I don't want to see that. That's filling out negativity and throwing it towards me. You're putting it out and throwing it towards me because now it's in the atmosphere. Y'all know those Facebook memories? Yeah, they gonna come back. It's just like a Facebook memory. It never leaves you. Unless you delete it. But even then, you still put it out there. So that's what I want to get across to y'all. We got to stop allowing these things to just spew out of our mouths like as if we have no control. That's the biggest thing. You got to have control in order to be able to pause. And I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, but I'm saying work at it now. Execute and elevate, guys. Y'all know I'm finna go in on this one. Y'all already know because I don't like excuses. I'm gonna tell you why in this here episode and segment of this podcast. So check this. Y'all know how people do. Well, that's just the way I am. Or they said it first. They started it. Hey, if that don't sound like some childish stuff, I don't know what does. Okay. So when are we going to stop playing childish games with these excuses? Because that's what y'all really missing. What y'all sound like, y'all might not be saying it all the time, but what you sound like is that's what you sound like. You sound like, oh, well, they said it first. They did it first. Hey, I remember back on in kindergarten when we used to be outside on the playground, somebody get in trouble, things like that. Well, they pushed me first. Yeah, that's what y'all sounding like, all right? Okay? I just want to get y'all to understand this. I got to bring it to the light for you because I don't want you out here walking around without it. So the excuses that you bring up, the ones that you think are valid, I don't want that. We need to let that go. Because that's how you start gaining control over what is controllable. You can control your own mouth. Trust me, I know. I already told y'all the story of how I did it. I just looked away first off. Don't keep looking at them. Look away. That's not disrespect. Looking away is not a disrespect. You're actually saving them from the lash that you could potentially have if you continue looking at them. Why do I say that? Because I had to do that. And if I would have kept looking at the same person in that same direction, I would not have stopped. And it could have been worse than what it was. But because I looked away, and I'll even throw you another Bible verse, because I looked to the hill from which cometh my help, all my help coming from the Lord. That right there gave me energy and more positivity to stop. We have to do things that work for us so that we can get out of the excuse zone. And that's another part of execution right there. So we move forward to the execution side of it. That's a part of the execution. This is the initial step in executing, is to look away, to breathe, take a deep breath. The counting I told you about, 3 to 5 seconds. If you need 10, hey, keep adding, man. All I got to say is do something. The pause is where you're in control. You are in control of that pause. That takes the control back. This is not to say that when you're taking control back, you're trying to win. No. That's not what we're looking for. We're trying to defuse what's going on here. How did we get here? That's what we're trying to do. If you can't come to a conclusion on how you got here, if you can't mitigate the situation, leave it alone. As simple as that. Y'all ever heard of walking away? 2 words, walk away. Let it go, man. Some things just can't be had. You know, you got some pig-headed people, some strong-minded individuals. I know them. I am one of them, so I'm trying to work on myself. I'm not perfect. Trust me. God knows I'm not. But what I am doing is I'm working on it. But see, there are some people, like I told y'all earlier in this segment, that say, this is the way I am. And when somebody says that to you, you might want to take that as a red flag and run. And that could be your next phase of this 3E. And you could be elevating when you run away. But what I'm getting at, guys, is in order to get out of those excuses, we have to find a way to execute, which I gave y'all a couple steps. And then it helps you elevate, because now you understand the power. Hear me clearly. That is a key word, the power of the pause. All right. Guys, we are back for the tool of the week. Guys, when I tell you, and gals, because I don't want to keep saying that like y'all are not here. But anyway, when I tell you that the tool of the week is really what you're here for this episode, for sure. Why do I say that? Because when we're doing this pause, and you know, I've talked about the burning of the bridges and even building up empires, creating chaos with just the way you speak. That's it. The tool of the week is what can help you here. Because will this thing that I'm saying, will God make me apologize for it later on? Because I'm telling you, my conscience is, it'll eat me up. You know what I'm saying? So I know some of y'all are the same way. You're very sensitive to topics, to individuals, and you get attached emotionally. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. And the other thing that I really, truly want you guys to understand is, let's find ways to just simply gather each other up. Like, because I feel like with the step that I'm going into with this whole pause, because pausing is a step. With that step, you have to want to pause first off, not just for you, but for that other person. Because if at any point that other person is just somebody you do not, and I repeat, do not like, it's going to be even harder. But how can we get rid of that? Let's not get to that level. Let's not even get there. Once it gets to midway, cut it off. We gone. Because if y'all both up here on 10, maybe even 11. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you like this. It's gonna be a Tyson fight. We gotta get out of there. So the big things about pausing, looking away, the 3-second rule, man, like, or 5, however you want to count. Again, we've got to do. Don't forget 2 words: walk away. That is possible if you need it. Table the topic. What does that mean? That means come back to it later because the temperatures are flaring, the emotions are too high. Let's just come back when everybody's calmed down. Maybe we'll have cooler heads. We can actually talk about this like adults. So again, guys, that's the tool of the week. Y'all know that's my favorite. Y'all know it because I don't like excuses. I'm going to try to destroy any way I can because y'all know I am the excuse destroyer. So when we talk about this whole segment, this whole podcast episode today, the power of the pause, we have to understand something, guys. It's not going to be easy, first off. Secondly, it's a work in progress. Every step you take, every last one of them that I mentioned, whether it's the 3-second, 5-second, 10-second pause, whether it's the look away, whether it's the walk away. You know what I mean? I just want you to do something. Challenge yourself. Do something. When you find yourself getting too emotional about a subject in a bad way, just remember this episode because it's going to help you. I'm telling you, this is going to come back to memory. When you start feeling yourself in those moments, it's going to come back. I'm just grateful that I remember it, and just like when I just recently had an episode where I had to do that, I was able to do it and not explode. We don't want you to explode. Why don't I want you guys to explode? Because that could be a relationship tarnished forever. Remember that. You could tarnish a relationship forever because of one moment in your life. Just that quick, a moment. You blew up. Relationship gone forever. And so I want y'all to understand that. And I challenge y'all. Whether it's this week, whether it's this month, whether it's the rest of the year. We've got a couple months left. We only got 4 months left. Okay? 3-4 months left. I want y'all to understand that you need to go out there and challenge yourself to either pause, take a deep breath, breathe, and yes, count out loud in your head, or you don't have to count out loud, but in your head, feel free to count to yourself. Or simply walk or look away. I challenge each and every one of you to do that if something arises. Okay, because we don't want to build bridges or burn bridges, We want to build them. We don't want to destroy empires. We want to create empires. We don't want to create chaos. We want to eliminate chaos. And we just love peace. So you always want peace. Keep peace. And y'all know, as I walk off, just because you can't see it doesn't mean you can't achieve it. Have a good one, guys.